Welcome to today's deep dive. We are getting into a modern dilemma that, honestly, if you have any kind of professional online presence, you know exactly what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
absolutely. The sheer exhaustion of it.
Right. It's like you finish your actual day job, the work you actually get paid for, and then you realize you still have to feed the beast.
Yeah, the digital beast, it never really sleeps.
Exactly. You have to craft this thought leadership post for LinkedIn and then adapt that same thing into a quick thread for Twitter.
And push an update to your private community, too.
Right. It is just this relentless, fragmented drain on your attention. So today, our mission is to look at a very specific source we got our hands on. It's a blueprint for an AI-powered social media manager.
And to be clear, we aren't talking about some vague sci-fi concept here.
No, not at all.
This isn't AI trying to write the next great American novel. It's a highly specific automation tool built to do the heavy lifting of digital marketing.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because when you look at the raw documentation for this tool, it is proposing a really fundamental structural shift in how we handle these digital workflows.
Yeah, the overarching goal here is transforming all that manual effort into automated consistency. It's specifically for people who are, juggling multiple platforms and just completely drowning in the logistics.
Yeah, the copy-pasting purgatory, as I call it.
Right, exactly. The whole idea is to elevate you from being this digital assembly line worker to being the architect. You design the strategy, and the AI does the actual grunt work.
Which sounds amazing. But before we get into the gears of how this automation actually works, we have to look at the human problem it's trying to solve.
Who it's actually built for.
Right. The document points straight at social media managers in its Who Needs This section. These are folks whose entire week is basically just moving digital assets from a local folder into web portals.
Just trapped in that endless cycle of creating, scheduling, tracking.
Yeah, it's like spinning plates. You get the Twitter plate spinning, then you run over to the LinkedIn plate, and by the time you check Telegram, the Twitter plate is falling.
That is a great way to put it.
But the document makes this very specific, measurable promise. It claims it will save a social media team exactly 3 hours per week. And I have to be honest, I immediately pushed back on that when I read it.
You weren't impressed by the 3 hours.
I mean, 3 hours a week, that sounds nice on paper, but whenever software promises to, save me time, I just think about the 10 hours of debugging I'm going to have to do to get the API working.
Oh, for sure. The setup tax.
Right. And even if it works perfectly right out of the box, is 3 hours really moving the needle? In a 40-hour week, 3 hours is barely an afternoon. Is it really that significant of a time save?
What's fascinating here is how we perceive that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because a flat 3 hours does sound like a drop in the bucket. But we have to look at how that time is actually distributed.
What do you mean by distributed?
Well, think about what manual social media management actually looks like. Those 3 hours are almost never a solid, focused block of time.
Oh, right. It's scattered.
Exactly. It's the absolute fragmentation of focus. It's 10 minutes at 9 a.m. to format an image, then 15 minutes at noon to adjust a caption, then an unexpected 5 minutes trying to fix a login token.
Which always happens when you're in a rush, by the way.
Always. And every single one of those tasks requires a context switch. Research consistently shows it takes significant time to regain deep focus after even a minor interruption. The value isn't just the recovered time, it's how that time is reallocated.
So it's about shifting focus entirely to creating high-quality content rather than doing the logistical grunt work.
Precisely. It's the difference between spending your week designing a beautiful ship versus frantically bailing water out of the hull just to keep it afloat.
If you automate the bailing, you can actually steer the ship.
Right. Those 3 hours aren't just 3 hours. They are the most annoying, flow-breaking hours of your week.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we're protecting our focus. Let's move to the execution. How does the AI actually do this?
So the blueprint breaks down the workflow very clearly. Steps 1 through 3 cover the inputs and the destinations. You provide a structured list of content, text, images, and videos.
You just hand it a folder of multimedia?
Yep. And the agent takes that and publishes it automatically at your specified times. But the really interesting part is where it's posting.
Yeah, the platform mix caught my eye immediately. It specifies LinkedIn, Twitter, and Telegram.
Quite the spread, right?
It is. I mean,